He had everything: wealth, power, respect. Yet inside his mansion, a silence haunted him, a silence born from guilt he could never escape. His little girl, once full of light, now lived in darkness, her world stolen in an instant. For years, he buried himself in work, too ashamed to face her. But one ordinary afternoon, a stranger, a man society often overlooked, did something so simple, yet so profound, it shook the millionaire to his core. How could a single moment between a laborer and a child expose truths that money, privilege, and power could never hide? William Harrington was a man the world envied, a millionaire with a construction empire stretching across cities. He lived in a mansion that looked perfect from the outside, but inside it was a house built on silence. His 8-year-old daughter, Amelia, once bright and full of laughter, had lost her sight in a tragic accident. William had been the driver that day. He walked away without a scratch, but Amelia's world turned to darkness, and so did his heart. Unable to face her pain, he threw himself into work, hiding behind wealth and power while nurses and nannies raised his child. Yet beneath the polished marble floors and spotless windows, guilt festered. William had everything, but nothing could erase the truth. His daughter needed more than money. She needed love. He no longer knew how to give it. And one afternoon, in his own garden, he would discover that someone else, someone society dismissed as ordinary, was already giving her exactly that. In the late afternoons, when William would return from endless meetings, he often passed through the garden without stopping. To him, it was just another corner of the estate, a place Amelia rarely visited. But one day, he noticed something strange. Laughter. Real, unrestrained laughter. Something he hadn't heard from his daughter in years. His steps slowed. Through the hedges, he saw her sitting on a bench, a small smile spreading across her face as a man in dusty work clothes gently placed a spoon in her hand. The man was Daniel Carter, a bricklayer working on repairs around the estate. By society's measure, Daniel had nothing. A laborer. A black man is often invisible to those with wealth and power. Yet there he was, painting Amelia's world with colors she could no longer see. "This red," Daniel said softly, guiding her fingers toward a rose, "is like the warmth of sunlight on your cheeks." William froze. His daughter tilted her head back, giggling, as if she could feel the sun through his words. Days turned into weeks, and William watched from a distance as the bond deepened. But the more he observed, the more his shame grew. His own daughter had found comfort in the voice of a stranger, a comfort he had failed to give. That shame turned into a gnawing curiosity. Who was this man who could reach Amelia so effortlessly? The answer came late one night, when William overheard Amelia whispering to Daniel. Her words cut deeper than any wound. "My father doesn't love me anymore. He can't even stay in the same room with me." William's chest tightened. He wanted to step forward, to protest, but the truth held him back. Instead, he listened as Daniel revealed his own scars. His daughter, Sophia, had died after a brutal battle with leukemia. His wife, consumed by grief, had followed not long after. Daniel spoke with a weight that only someone who had truly lost everything could carry. But there was more, much more. William would soon discover that Daniel was no ordinary laborer. He had once been a respected civil engineer until tragedy stripped him of everything. And the doctor who had failed Daniel's daughter? The very same one who had declared Amelia's blindness permanent. It was no coincidence. Hidden in Daniel's silence was a storm, a truth so devastating that it would expose not just personal pain, but a network of negligence, corruption, and injustice. The kind of truth that could destroy lives or save them. And as William pieced the puzzle together, one question haunted him. Had his wealth and blindness to others allowed a monster to thrive right under his nose? The truth struck like lightning. William opened the anonymous file, and with each page, his world unraveled. Dr. Richard Hale, the neurologist he had trusted, was no healer. He was a predator. The documents exposed a trail of children misdiagnosed, families deceived, and lives destroyed. And there, buried in the records, was Sophia Carter, Daniel's daughter. She hadn't died of fate. She had died of a lie, a treatable illness twisted into a false death sentence. Rage and disbelief consumed William. For years, he had hidden behind his wealth, blind to the pain of those outside his world. And yet, it was this man, this so-called ordinary worker, who had carried the truth alone in silence. The breaking point came in court. Daniel sat in the back, hands clenched, as Hale took the stand, his arrogance on full display. William's lawyers presented the evidence. Forged diagnoses, hushed settlements, children's names that echoed through the courtroom like ghosts demanding justice. Gasps filled the air as Amelia's case appeared on the screen. Her blindness had never been inevitable. She could see again. She had been condemned, not by nature, but by greed. The courtroom erupted. Parents wept. Reporters shouted. Hale's mask cracked as handcuffs clicked shut around his wrists. For the first time, William looked at Daniel, not as a laborer, not as an outsider, but as a father who had borne the unbearable. In that moment, wealth and poverty, privilege and struggle, blurred into nothing. What remained was shared pain, and the burning question of whether redemption was still possible. As Hale was led away, the world shifted. For William, for Daniel, for Amelia. But the story was far from over. Because justice in the courtroom was only the beginning, what came next would determine whether their losses would mean something greater or fade into yet another forgotten tragedy. When the trial ended, justice felt like both a victory and a wound that would never fully heal. Dr. Hale's empire of lies collapsed, but no sentence could bring back Sophia Carter, nor erase the years Amelia spent in darkness. And yet, from tragedy came transformation. Together, William and Daniel built something greater than either man could have imagined, the Sophia Foundation. A place where children failed by a broken system could find healing, hope, and a future. Amelia, slowly regaining her sight, became the face of that mission. Her smile, once lost in shadows, now inspired families everywhere to seek answers, to demand accountability, and to never accept injustice as the final word. William, once a man chained to wealth and guilt, redirected his empire toward research, hospitals, and children in need. Daniel, though marked by loss, found purpose in ensuring Sophia's name would live on, not as a story of death, but as a symbol of resilience. But beyond the courtroom, beyond the foundation, lies the larger truth. This story was never just about two fathers. It is about the countless families silenced by negligence, dismissed because of race, or ignored because they lacked power. It is about a world where privilege blinds, and where compassion, when finally chosen, has the power to tear those blinders away. So, what do we take from this? That justice is not the end, but a beginning. That wealth cannot replace presence. That race should never dictate whose voice is heard and whose suffering is ignored. The question now is not whether William or Daniel found redemption. The question is, will we, as a society, finally choose to see what we've long ignored? Or will we keep looking away until another child, another family, is lost to silence? What do you think? Was justice truly served? Or is there still more to be done? If this story moved you, share it so others can reflect on its message. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more powerful stories that uncover the truth behind silence.